Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the series with a terrible upload schedule. This is episode 19, and in today's episode, I wanted to sort of make up for the fact that I haven't uploaded in, I think, over a month at this point. And to do that, I decided to dedicate this episode to major urban expansion. As you can see here on screen, I basically filled out almost 3 blocks worth of neighborhoods and houses, and just sort of filler to help the city grow and expand. So yeah, for not uploading for a long time, I decided to give myself a lot of work, which takes a long time. So I don't know how much that actually helped my case in uploading, but there you go. Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. So to start off today's episode, I wanted to build this mall that sits right on Central Avenue in Uptown Phoenix. The mall that I'm basing this off of is called Park Central Mall, and there's actually quite a bit of history to this mall because, if I'm not mistaken, it is the first mall ever built in Phoenix. So I kind of wanted to pay homage to that by having these more like 1970s, 1960s looking department stores and stuff, especially with this Simpsons one. So that was kind of my goal here. I wanted to create a more, I don't want to say antique, but that's the word that's coming to mind right now. A more like old style mall, you know. Currently the mall is actually being renovated. It's actually being more modernized with a more modern look, more modern architectural style. They actually have this really cool sign up front with the new Park Central logo, Park Central sign. Sadly, I couldn't recreate that in Saguaro Valley because I just didn't really have the assets to create that sign with the huge lettering. But yeah, this mall, it's basically, it's not really filler, but I'm not trying to over detail it either. It's kind of a theme that you're gonna see with this episode in general. While a lot of this definitely isn't filler, it is meant to fill up the city, obviously with the expansion, but at the same time I'm not trying to really over detail anything because yeah, I don't want my PC to explode. But yeah, you can see me just decorating it right now with some planters and stuff, making it look nice, making it look presentable, especially from a higher up view. And I'm sorry for the weird change in daylight. I don't know what I was thinking, but I just decided to build during, I think, sunset or something here. It looks terrible on video. It looks just really orange and dark, but I hope you can excuse me for that. But yeah, I'm just trying to add some parking, add some more little details, and the fact that this is such an old mall, and it had that like 1970s vibe or architectural style, it kind of really inspired me to just look around on Google and like just look at a bunch of these like original fast food icons like the McDonald's. I just fell in love with this sort of architectural style because to me, it just screams like American architecture to me. I don't know how to say this properly, but I just fell in love with I think it's called the Googie architectural style. And me as an architecture major, it just, I don't know, it was kind of fascinating for me. So it kind of just went on a weird little binge of trying to find as many Googie sort of style buildings and signs, and I just wanted to create this little district that kind of maybe like a little historic district for the city, but it's not quite a historic district. It's just more a place stopped in time, maybe a little bit more preserved. Realistically, in areas like this would probably be really worn down and just like abandoned or have very slow business in today's times, but I think that's why a lot of these buildings get such a bad rep, because most of the time when you see them, They're just old, they're just worn out, they're not well maintained, they just look ugly, and I don't know, it just screams failure, you know. But when you look at the old pictures on Google and you see them in like the original state when they're brand new and shiny, it actually looks, it gives off this feeling. I don't know, I just love the way this kind of architectural styles looks. It's with the old Americana car culture time of the US. But anyways, back to what I'm building on screen. So you can see me obviously placing down a bunch of these older style fast food icons, especially that McDonald's right there. And I believe that's a car wash down the street as well. But those are really the only two buildings that I found on the workshop. I wanted to include like a gas station that kind of looks like the Flows. A gas station from the Pixar movie Cars, just that kind of architectural style. That's what I kind of wanted to have in this area of the city, but sadly I couldn't really find that many assets on the workshop, so I just managed with what I could find. And yeah, right now you can just see me placing down some fake parking lots because I didn't want to really just overuse these parking lot roads. I kind of wanted to like also have them pop out a little bit more with the different colored asphalt. And I don't know why, I just don't really like the sort of darker asphalt color that comes with the actual parking lot roads. I much prefer this gray or worn out one for some reason. It just looks better to me. I don't really like using that other one too much. I think it's kind of okay. I know I just said it's because it pops out and that's the reason why I like it, but for these parking lot roads it just pops out in a way that I don't like, and I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, right now you can see me working on some neighborhoods, starting out the grid layout of these homes, and yeah, and right now specifically I mean, you can see me building this more sort of wavy road layout, which is kind of me trying out some different techniques for what is about to come, which is my huge block of neighborhoods that I'm going to build later on in the episode. But to take a break from that, or just to sort of procrastinate on that, I just decided to build a little school here, because there actually is a school on Central Avenue. It's called Central High School, and I just kind of wanted to pay homage to that. So today's episode is going to have a lot of just jump cuts between different parts of the build, because I just did so much work. It's probably to you guys it doesn't seem like a lot of work, but it really was for me, especially with my work schedule. I just didn't really have enough time to just knock this out in like a couple days. It took a couple weeks, but yeah, now you can see me actually placing down these houses. I think they're called like the JK houses. I don't remember who they're from, but they're really good assets. Highly recommend. The thing with these houses though is the fact that they come in these like squared off lots. They make it difficult to actually place on like curved roads, because just the backyards just don't really connect well, and yeah, it just looks weird and funky. But I just kind of managed with what I had. And I just placed some greenery, so I just painted some green grass behind them, used some actual walls to create better backyards. And yeah, that little area, as I stated earlier, just kind of served as a little testing ground for the kind of style of housing that I'm going to be building later on in the episode. But right now you can see me detailing the high school that I just placed a couple seconds ago in the video. But again, not too much detail, just a little bit of a surface painter. I'll add some vegetation that really brings this area to life. I kind of love how this sort of combination of I think it's the ruined texture, and just placing down just a couple of little bushes and some slightly larger bushes. It just looks very, very Phoenix to me. It's a really good good combination that I kind of discovered here. And you will definitely see me using this sort of style later on in the episode and in the future, because I'm going to keep using that because it looks good. But yeah, I'm just placing some fences, using some surface painter to add some texture to the ground so it's not just the same old brown color throughout the map. Nothing against the texture of the map, but like if it's, for some reason, if I just leave it in the open plot of land, which there is a lot of here in Phoenix, surprisingly, there's just lots of open land, just without any development on it, and it looks good on Google Maps, but when I do it here, it doesn't look good unless I add some surface painter onto it, just to add that extra little bit of detail and texture. So I don't know, just a little rant there. But here we go, you can see me starting these more modern houses. I don't really know what to call these. I think they're like McMansions or something, but I just decided to use them as the default Phoenix, Arizona houses that you can pretty much find anywhere in the city here in real life. And I wanted to create this little sort of park in the middle of the neighborhood, just because I see a lot of this on Google Maps. I see a lot of this in the actual neighborhoods here in Phoenix. They tend to have like this little park where just the locals just take their kids out to play and just sit on the grass, play on the playgrounds that might be there, take out the dog for a walk, that kind of stuff. Just normal neighborhood American lifestyles, you know. But yeah, I'm actually really proud of how this park turned out. Here you can see me again using that combination again with the ruined texture and the trees. I don't know how new this is. I'm pretty sure I've been doing this for a while now, but I've just actually noticed it in this episode, or at least while I was making it. But yeah, just a couple of bushes, some trees with the ruined texture just really helps it pop out. I think just the different shade of brown is what really helps this area stand out from the rest of the map, because it's just, I don't know, it's just so much brown. But yeah, now you can, I didn't do too much detail on these houses again. This is definitely my most detailed neighborhood throughout the whole city, because I took it upon myself to create a backyard for every single house in this block. So I didn't put too much thought into it. It wasn't a terribly difficult task, but it was a time-consuming one nonetheless. And I basically detailed them by either having some surface painter in some of the different lots. As you can see here, it just alternates kind of with the grass and the ruined texture. I think I put some gravel in some of them too. And obviously now you can see me putting down pools and obviously trees later on. And yeah, just that kind of stuff. So to finishing off this episode, I know it's been kind of a long one. I think it's going to be like 20 something minutes long. Definitely one of my longest videos yet, but you can see me, starting to finish up the neighborhoods by just copying and pasting a lot of these sort of square or grid-like houses, or housing units, housing blocks, whatever you want to call them. And I want to add a little bit of variation just here in this corner of the area, just by having the road curve a little bit and having the roads adjust, or the houses adjust to it. But I ended up just deleting up a couple of these roads and adding in another school here, just because I think there's a general lack of elementary schools in the city. So I think this just kind of helped out a little bit. And yeah, actually this asset is really, I just really like it. I don't remember the name of it. I'll probably just pop it up on screen right now if I remember while I'm editing this. But yeah, it's a really good asset. Definitely very, very American elementary school like. So that's basically the reason why I plopped it down. It actually looks a lot like my elementary school that I went to when I was a young lad. But yeah, just minimal detail again, just adding some fences, some shrubbery, some surface painter. Nothing too crazy, nothing too overly detailed, and yeah, but it looks nice nonetheless, especially from afar. So that's kind of the point. It's kind of the point for this episode, just having a bunch of filler, having a bunch of decently detailed areas. And I struggled a lot with these like open gaps that I left behind. I think I tried to create like little commercial strips along these roads. I don't remember if I showed that on camera or not. It's nothing too special. I literally just plopped down a bunch of commercial buildings and added some cement surface painter onto them afterwards to help them stand out a little bit. But I think I did actually add like a strip later on, but I don't think I showed it in the episode. But anyways, now you can just see me. This area is supposed to be a little bit more run down, and usually when I'm driving around Phoenix, I see a bunch of like auto repair shops be in those sorts of areas, so that's kind of why I just added 2 of those there. It kind of helps the vibe. I don't know if I detail them later on or not, but I promise I'll get back to that, because I kind of like detailing stuff like that. I like adding little cars and little junkyards and stuff like that, make the city look rough around the edges. But right now, interestingly enough, I'm gonna be building this sort of hospital complex, but I am dumb, and I don't know if you guys do this too when you guys make your videos, but whenever I'm stuck on something, because I had trouble figuring out how I wanted this place to look, so I just kind of stopped recording for a bit, so I just don't have as much footage to look through, and I just sort of figure it out on my own. And then once I figure out something like the way I want to build it, I press record again and actually start building it. That was my intention, but I'm dumb and I forgot to actually press record, so there's just gonna be a cut soon that's just gonna cut to like a more finished version of this hospital here, because I just forgot to record me building it. And I just finished the episode building this little, or decorating this little like corner of the complex. But it's actually based off of, well, not really based off of, but I'm building a hospital here because there's a hospital here in real life. I think it's the St. Jude Hospital, right by Central Avenue, or uptown Phoenix as well. But here's the cut. Everything's done now except for this little corner, which is what I'm building on screen. So sorry about that. But it's just a little bit of detailing. Again, I'm using that ruined texture, and I'm going to be placing down some shrubs again. A lot of repetition in this episode. Sorry about that. Not too much variation in my detailing today, but yeah, I guess this can kind of serve as a little office or research facility for the hospital. I don't know what hospitals do, or I know what hospitals do, I just don't know what other buildings might be around a hospital, like a research center or just random office space for the hospital potentially. But I also decided to put a cherry on top and add a little construction site here to add some interesting variation to this complex, to this area itself. And so to finish off this episode here, I kind of want to take a moment to shout out some of my social media. It's not something I really do in these episodes. I do have an Instagram. I do have a Twitter. I mostly use Twitter, but even then I hardly really ever use it. But I do use it fairly regularly, especially for updates on the channel. And I'm also fairly active on the Rowendy Discord chat, so if you guys want to head over there, join his Discord. I'm also pretty active on there. So but yeah, that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you guys later.